Sorry, everybody. Super pro there. Loving it. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the WTRL TTT number 108 Watopia Hilly Reverse. I'm Nathan Guerra, Dave Towle next to me. And we are in with the Mochas and Vienna class today, Dave. I'm super excited for this. We're going to be on 3 laps. And I think on reverse, you're looking at this steady. I actually use this climb very specifically for VO2 max efforts. So it definitely keeps things super interesting, I think, for the riders out here today to try and stay together. The other thing about this climb, too, Dave, I think, is that on the Watopia Hilly Reverse is the reality that you can draft the on a little bit. There is it's a little bit up and down. It isn't just a straight shot uphill. And I think you're muted, Dave. I think you are muted, bud.
Sorry there.
No worries.
But everyone has their hiccups out here. As we were talking about, don't panic, right? So, hey, this is as OG as it gets out here, folks. This would be, when you look at this world, Watopia, a lot of riders, I think yourself included, Nathan, like to have benchmark climbs that you can go back to and say, hey, when I was really fit last year, I was doing this in 132 at this, wattage per kilogram, and certainly the forward climb. Wouldn't you think, Nathan, for almost, I would say, obviously there's going to be variation out there, but this climb for a lot of folks is their baseline climb, their bedrock for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I may have had something incorrect here coming through. So we're on Watopia.
It's not reverse,
is that right?
it?
It is not reverse.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought maybe you knew something I didn't. It's Hilly route. Yep. So
Watopia
today we've got
route.
3 laps, 27K. It's going to be a challenge.
So that changes up everything I just said because the forward climb is the KOM challenge climb that you and I both did a lot of commentary on. And this thing is like, you're right, as old school as it gets. When Watopia first launched, this is a whole different talking point, actually. That's
funny. For the first time ever, I think I had the right data there, right? I know you've got a million things. So at first you've got to be going like, oh gosh, here we go again with Dave. I'm going to have to correct him. He's got the course backwards, right? But so, yeah. Do you know how I really...
Right. You got it right time. You got it. I think it might have showed up incorrectly somewhere. So we ended up on the wrong thing for the title somewhere. So anyways, no, Sherpa Dave with the hookup here.
Yeah, totally. These are all your favorites, man. Forward climb, the S's, Italian Villa. We're going through these spots that, we just really have come to know and love in the world of Zwift. So, yeah, this is just straight down the middle, except not for a team time trial, though, because what's going to happen, Nathan, is the teams that can go over the top of forward climb together, grouped, and not have to spend 500 meters with riders slingshotting past each other and slowing down and picking up speed. And that yo-yo effect is the most frustrating thing that you see in a team time trial. For the riders themselves, you're pulling your hair out. Nathan, you know this well, right? Anybody who does this knows that. So the teams that can all arrive together at the top of forward climb, that's 90% of the battle out here as far as getting the best out of your team. I don't know if your team is strong enough to win outright in your category. That's up to your fitness and how hard you dig. But if you want to get the tactic right, stay together, especially in that last 100 meters on the climb. Does that sound like good advice to you, Nathan?
Yeah, 100% good advice there. And I think, when it does come to climbing, we can jump right on in here with the Mocha men, actually. We do have Art Neon. We're going to jump in with. They were one of the top seeds, or one of the first seeds to go out on course. They are actually just starting their climb the first time through out on Watopia forward right now. So let's go ahead and jump right on in with them. And, I think one thing that is definitely a learning curve that you really expose on a course like this because of the reality of the climb. You're on that 6% gradient, as you can see as we get into the Watopia forward. Hilly here is matching the effort well, and whether or not a rider does have consistency of power to be able to really sit in on a draft. When you're on a flat or you're on the downhills, you can kind of jostle around a little bit more. It's gotten a lot. We've talked about this so many times in the TTT, and it's just got so exemplified with that latest update to the pack dynamics. And I think it really, really shows, though, on the climbs, whether or not somebody knows how to sit well on a wheel and not overextend, not push people off. And you can see, I'm watching Douglas
100.
here and Griffiths, McLeod. I mean, this is very well done. Straight line all the way over the top. You do get a good draft over the top. The speeds, though, there's one thing that I would say about the Mocha and Vienna class is they kind of get the bad end of the stick because speed is what influences draft. And so without high speeds over the top of the climbs, they really do just got to match each other. They're still going to get a little bit, they're still going to get draft over the top of the climb, but not nearly as much as if they were traveling. The faster you travel, the more draft you're going to be getting through in the game. There's definitely a
100%.
multiplier on that. So it's interesting. Art and Ian, though, doing a really good job here. The only other thing, though, is they've already dropped off 2 riders. Tough day for these guys.
Agreed. Nathan, you're so right, though. If you're sitting 3 meters behind the rider, let's just call him an average-sized rider, the draft will be pretty minimal. But you get tucked right in, and that's only where the brave and the talented racers with skill operate, sitting there just an inch behind that wheel, and it is basically you go from 3% effectiveness to 96% effectiveness. It's amazing. So let's take a look at the ART Neon team running through the squad out here. Again, this would be out of the B pen. That's where they're spawning today in Watopia. So spawning. Chris Douglas.
Did you hear? Dave just used a full-on gaming term. That is where they're spawning today. He actually...
We've come a long way in a year.
We have come a really long way here. Love it, Dave. Love it.
Thanks, Nathan. You've been a huge help, man. So Welsh rider is Dan Downs, James Cameron, the director of Titanic, John Barnes, Jonathan George, and Stephen Griffiths. This team is entirely out of the United Kingdom, and they certainly look good out here. Here's some times coming in, Nathan. Wow, look how close it is. So
that was in with the latte for a moment there. Now we're jumping on over, though, to the Mochas. Looks like our featured team, Evo Flux, top of
Oh, wow, look at this. Rider coming back, Nathan. Rider coming back in for ART Neon. That's incredible.
That's huge. Absolutely huge. That's going to be...
Is that Barnes who just joined there?
James Downs.
John Barnes?
Downs. Here, coming on in. I believe it was D Downs. I believe it was Downs that jumped back in.
Thank you. Well, that's a huge effort. Yeah, man, that's really, really impressive there because 3.5K in was just such a bummer to be down to 4 guys. Now, I guess we should talk a little bit about WTRL. Let me say thank you to Martin. First off, just a tremendous job. We are firing on all cylinders right now. This is team time trial week for sure with Zwift Racing League having their team time trial coming up because I saw some of the Doppio teams have got some familiar names from ZRL for sure. So we have 14 different zones. This is what we call Platinum. And in Platinum, it's the best 11 times from last week. You're only as good as last week in WTRL. And this Time Trial League, on the big weeks, we'll have over 8,000 riders. We're in right now, right around 4,000. We'll take part today, and we're in with the Mochas. You can see all the different levels of racing, but the rules remain the same for all the different categories. You start with a maximum of 8 riders, finish time taken off of the 4th. I feel sometimes, Nathan, like I forget to review the rules for folks that maybe are joining us for the first time, because I always know that we've got new viewers here on Zwift Community Live. Love having new eyeballs with us.
Yeah, we definitely do. It's absolutely, especially with ZRL, a lot of viewers are finding the stream specifically through that, especially as we go across a lot of the different categories out here. Now, this is going to be one of our featured teams. We really appreciate Evo Flux Jaffe. They hooked us up with a bunch of information, actually. Be on the watch out for your emails, everybody. We do send out an email every week letting you know who the featured category will be. We are on the Mochas in Vienna this week for the men and the women. And Metcalf here. Now, from what I know about the fashion police, from Anna Russell, and the research that she has done specifically on this team, this is a huge no-no. That this team
What's
has
the
like one
problem?
of the
See, I don't even recognize
strictest.
a problem.
They have one of the strictest uniform protocols. And like I've heard that there's like some sort of huge penalty. I gotta get Anna Russell on the line because I forgot what the
you're
penalty
saying
is.
Evo Flux had Evo Flux.
Evo as a team, Evo as an entire brand for the team,
okay,
have like this super like you wear the pink kit, and if you have the pink
Don't
Tron
mess
bike,
around.
and if you have the pink, maybe this is user side though. Maybe this is my client side because this is like original Zwift kit, and sometimes if something's not loading, original Zwift kit will just be the thing that ends up showing up. But I have a feeling perhaps we'll have to figure out about Metcalf here. What's happening?
Boy, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus here, though. Boy, now I'm certainly concerned, and I don't know what time it is.
We're super concerned for Will.
Well, you know that Anna Russell is a stickler, so she's probably already heard about this, and she's on the internets. Making things happen. So first off, a little background, Nathan, because you were doing a ton of setup work while I leaned in and asked Martin to help me out because Martin is originally from the United Kingdom. He lives in Canada now, Calgary, but he always knows about this kind of stuff. So I said, what is Jaffa? I was thinking like Jabba the Hutt or a Star Wars thing. No, not even close. Not even in the neighborhood.
Jaffa,
so it goes back to
Jaffe? Is it Jaffe or is it Jaffa?
It's Jaffa. Jaffa
oh, okay.
cakes. So they're sweet cakes. They're very common in
Team
the
Sweet
United Kingdom.
Cakes. I love it.
Sweet
you just
cakes.
called them Team Sweet Cakes. This is so great.
Well, it wasn't a term of endearment, although it sounds like it. Well, maybe it is, but we don't know yet. But we're going to learn a lot more about them. So these guys are pizza addicts as well. They love pizza, and they go cutting against the grain. They like it with pineapple. That's something on this team that is suspect, to say the least. As Anna Russell would say, not impressed. But let's get on the positive. Dylan Lang, Mike Garvin. So it's a mixed team. Linda Person, Will Metcalf, Stephen Groundwater. These are the riders that we are looking at right now. They are some former rowers, rugby players, runners, soccer players. They have a great mix of, some of the traditional popular sports in the United Kingdom, Nathan.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. This team, really, really cool. The backgrounds that they have here as well. Looking through some of this, Dylan Lang, DCAT longtime cyclist, says that he loves riding all bikes. Rode MTB CX 3 years on Zwift, so old schooler for sure.
Nice.
Loves racing, but not taking the training too seriously. Just enjoys riding and being fit enough to do that. He says ex-elite level rower in a former life, and he's obviously a big fan of Jaffa.
He's a Buddhist. He must be a Buddhist if he has multiple lives.
Yeah.
He came back as a cyclist, so he went up. He went from a rower to a cyclist. So he's ascending in the.
We actually have a question coming through here. I'm going to bring this in here. This is a great little question. Please comment on the best bike and wheels for the course. For me on this one, it does look like they're working really well together. They're bringing Dylan back into the fold, actually.
This is a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, great
job.
They're on
the right bike.
Groundwater coming back a little ways.
Tron bike, not a bad call, is it?
I think Tron bike is a good call. Okay, so it depends on where your team is going to shine as well. For me, the climb is so short. The kind of effort that we're going to be putting into the climb and the speeds. So if I were riding Espresso or Doppio Cat, I'd just go with the traditional Venge with the 858s because I don't really mind how heavy it is because the gains on the other ends of the course are too much to really impact our race too much because our speeds over the climb are still going to be 20K plus probably or so. Like we're going to attack
not to brag or
6
boast.
watts per kilogram. But I'm okay. That's just
you're not
facts.
getting dropped on the climb, right? That's not a problem for you.
It's not,
right.
and also the speed is so high that the drafting and the ability for your CDA to stay high,
sure,
or to be cut through is still really important, right? So the speeds matter. If you're on here for a while, though, I do think an all-arounder like the Tron bike is going to be a really, really good selection. Not a climber. There's no way. There's not enough climbing on here. You're not going to Mondo with Mellensteins, nothing like that. I think if you are going to be on the climb for a while, you are looking for something that is a little bit more all-arounder. The climb is going to impact you because the speeds are lower. Mocha, I do think Tron, probably a good selection, right? You're going to need something a little more all-arounder. You do have the Essies as well where you could roll through. For me, and maybe a category that's going to keep some really, really high speeds, I think it's really, really worth it that everybody is on an 858 with Avenge. You'll get that time back. The most you're going to lose on the climb is maybe a second, and you'll get that back easily throughout the rest of the course. So best bike, fastest bike. TT bike, definitely. The climb's not that short, is not that long. It's super short. Attack it. If you're going to be on it for longer, though, go for an all-arounder. Maybe Latte or Mochas. More of a Tron situation.
There you go. That Tron bike earned with 50,000 meters of climbing. I am well aware, acutely aware of every meter these days, as I'm just at 57% now, Nathan. So went past the halfway mark there a couple weeks ago. That felt good. On the journey home now. So this is Groundwater.
With Groundwater, yeah, I was going to say he did a great job of bringing Dylan back into the fold. He's an ex-goalkeeper. Wished he discovered cycling sooner in life. Sea-Cat rider making rapid progress. Sweep in training on Evo Flux rides. Okay, so he's the sweeper on the Evo Flux ride. So if you're going to jump into a Flux ride, he's... newer to being the sweeper, and he's absolutely loving it. It sounds like being a part of the community doing that. I don't know if people understand what that means, but in the group rides out there, you have these really well-organized group rides, like Evo has the Evo Flux rides, and they have somebody who's maybe the ride leader, and then there's a sweeper who comes through to make sure people who need a wheel to get back on, to get back involved into the ride, have a wheel to ride with, or just the sweeper group that they can ride with. The Gruppetto.
The caboose. The caboose of the group out there. So you this team has a bunch of folks. So I actually have to correct myself, Nathan, as this turns out. I don't want to just let this sit out there. Not everyone on the team are fans of pepperoni pizza. So, excuse me, pineapple on their pizza. It's actually hotly disputed, a controversial topic on the Evo Flux
in the
ride.
team?
So I apologize
about
that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I assumed that from some of the literature I read, but that was coming from the pro pineapple people. And then a little bit later on, I found out, no, there's a counter group that is up in arms about the nonsense of this pineapple pizza. So let's move on, though. Sorry, Nathan. Will Metcalf here is a newbie cyclist who came to us during the lockdown and is now completely obsessed. And Martin just gave a big thumbs up because he knows he's an ex-rugby player. So always loving having the grit from what makes a good rugby player. Certainly works for you well out here in Zwift. And then let's talk about Linda, a mixed team here. Always love riders like Linda that jump in with the guys and more than hold their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Linda
awesome.
Patterson.
This is a familiar name to me, actually. I've seen her around the community, I think, a little bit. I'm going to just double check and make sure it's the right Linda Pearson. But, pretty awesome to see her in and amongst this Mocha crowd. And
she's a climber for sure. Does not like sprinting unless they're giving free Jaffa cakes out. Then she will.
Level 26 Zwifter. Coming out of Sweden, 66 races. Looks like mainly Evo. Actually, she is Evo through and through. It's like a ton of Evo rides. Evo. I mean, this is a very committed rider when it comes to this team from what I'm seeing. I mean, all the way back to November 12th, 2020. Newer to the world of Zwift, it looks like then. So I think a different Pearson than I was thinking. Is doing the SCR as well, so sticking with the Swedish rides as well, coming from her home country.
Yeah.
But then the Evo stuff is really what she's up to alongside of WTRL. So awesome to see. Very consistent.
Yeah, I'll take a Swede.
The power profile there.
Yeah, no kidding, Nathan. I'll take that as a this is what you call a cornerstone. The next rider that I want to highlight here was struck by lightning and survived, and then immediately started zwifting. And it turns out there were some extra volts left around inside his
What?
body. Yep, Mike Garvin. This guy is electrified. He was struck by lightning. I'm not kidding, actually.
No, you're
I'm
not.
very
This
happy.
is a real thing. I'm seeing this actually in the document here. He was actually struck by lightning. Now, the whole thing that he started zwifting right away afterwards, lightning is not what you need to get on Zwift, just so you know.
No,
like, there isn't any
You don't need to wait to
correlation.
get struck by lightning. That's for sure. Yeah, it's always fascinating. Can you imagine, as far as a dinner table conversation, if with someone you never met, how interesting? Like, that would be a great place to start any conversation.
I gotta
don't you
ask.
think?
I mean, has he Great Outdoors? Has he seen the movie? Is what I'm wondering here.
Is that John Candy?
Six times? No, it's only struck once, right? Yeah, yeah.
John Candy. Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd,
You have
John Candy. John Aykroyd, John Candy.
So
Great
Nathan,
Outdoors.
I know we have a ton of riders to look at. I so appreciate the way we've really found our groove by getting to go in with different categories. Today we're in with the Mochas. And you'll allow me to shout out Dylan Lang, please. A longtime cyclist. This guy loves every kind of bike, whether it's road, mountain, cyclocross. He even I'm making that up. I wonder if he can unicycle. I'm going to find out. 3 years on Zwift out here, and has really just found his rhythm with this racing community out here. Doesn't take his training too seriously, and that's cool. Just enjoys racing and being fit enough to do that. And that, Nathan, in all things moderation, right? For a lot of us anyways, maybe not all, but for someone who can enjoy doing this and be fit enough to race with the Mochas, obviously you're keeping your old ticker in shape, and it's a very, very good sign because these guys are motoring. They're on the flat ground moving at 44 kilometers per hour here. It's a 20.
I want to definitely highlight one more thing about this team, and then we'll start moving on a little bit here. But the reality of these riders, they're 5 riders, all similar levels. All riders are pretty new to the Zwift TTT, actually. So they qualified to the Platinum League. This is only Linda's second team time trial, actually. Most experience is going to be Dylan, I believe, Lang. So, I mean, pretty cool to see. And
I agree.
Yeah, the Hawaiian pizza thing, a regular controversial topic. That's
See what
controversial
I'm talking about
everywhere. That's controversial everywhere, though, because
here,
pineapple
in your house, it is.
belongs on pizza. It ain't controversial in this house, boys and girls. Dad life, hashtag dad life is hashtag pineapple on pizza. Okay, like that's just settled around here. We go out to the pizza place, and the kids are like, "Put the pineapple. Well, give us a Hawaiian. Give us the Hawaiian." Oh, it's good stuff. Anyways,
I can already see your youngest son wants to be. There's so much emulation of the positive things that you do, Nathan, and seeing that kid out on a bike is, oh wow, look at Cryogen, they're killing it out here, Nathan. Let's jump in with Steve P. Jones. But at the midpoint, they're just past the midpoint of the race. They look like a squad, didn't they? And I'm going to take a look at these splits here, as it's going to be again. I was talking about the details.
Evo are killing it though. Look at Evo. The team that we're
sure are
24-38. Them and the TBR Renegades are neck and neck right now. And we actually have a few fans out here from Harry Stevenson saying go TBR Renegade. We also have Nick Ledbeater here saying Cryogen as well. So we got some fans out here today for sure for each of these teams. What is happening? Dude, there's no sprint points today, Leister.
Hold on.
There's no sprint points, bud.
That's an interesting move. So while we're wondering what's going on,
he's just mad at the team. He's just mad at some once in a while. I'll be like, "Why are we going so slow?"
As far as a tactic go, so what do you call everyone sissies and then attack and make them chase you? That's how you get them going faster, I guess. So Renegades. So 24:14, the fastest time right now. But again,
look at the gap he's opened up. All right, let's go, Leister. Wait, we're not doing it right. Hold on.
So the only, so 24:14 is the fastest times from Renegades, but we're still going to be waiting from some Rhinos, Nebula, Canopy to come through, as they will be the fastest
at least
team
give them
seeded.
Sorry, Dave. I'm sorry.
Is he
He's got a
slowing down now?
24.93. He's got the sprint jersey. Nobody else is taking that thing today, but I mean, it ain't worth nothing in the race. But good job, 24.93. That's a pretty sick
I have
time.
no possible explanation for what that could have been.
I think he was just like in Discord, like, check me out, guys. I'm going to get some TV time. And he just went for it.
Maybe.
Oh, man.
Like he'd say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to puzzle Dave Towle.
He was definitely thinking about you when he did that, Dave. That's exactly what he was thinking about.
Yeah, that was based on. Yeah, so 24-14 is very quick for the Renegades here from TBR. Let's see what Evo Flux Jaffa, and that is the team that we just got to meet. That's extremely cool that they're having a good day today, clearly motivated. The Sumatran Rhinos, 24-48, so they're 10 seconds behind Jaffa. There are one of our Rhino teams. We also have RR Black Rhinos out there today. They're still to come through that second split at 14K. It's the Valhalla Dragvandil team, 2504. Sitting in fifth right now is the CrowdGen Snow Geese, and that's the team that we're looking at here in white and blue. Things have settled down there.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's see. We do have the women just about to get going out on course. This is absolutely awesome. I just want to give you guys an idea here, the kind of communications that are going on with one of our teams. We do have the Inferno Kittens. The BRT Inferno Kittens are on with us today. Pretty cool to see. And I'm just going to give you everybody an idea here of the kind of organization that this team has. It's super cool to see. They actually have Sue Watson as a DS hanging out in the channel here. She's got her phone out, a notepad. All the other riders are up top here that you can see on top of this Zoom call here, all waiting for the directions as they chat away, getting ready to take off. It's absolutely great.
That's awesome.
Sue's laughing because she knows she's on the stream now, of course.
Well,
but I mean, this is so. And I saw them for the last half hour talking, organizing. Sue's giving directions about who's going to go when and how. I mean, this is so great what's happening right now with these. And that is the Inferno Kittens. And Sue even has a little banner with the logo of the Inferno Kittens with her. And I'm going to ask her to show it on stream because it's so great.
They're better organized than some of the World Tour teams racing in the Giro. Yeah. They really are. Sue, that is awesome. So, Nathan, that's BRT Inferno.
Inferno Kittens, yeah, the Inferno Kittens.
You
can actually hear the women just about to take off out on course.
That's and they are spawning out of...
Also the B. Also the B
also
pen.
The B pen. Perfecto. There they are. So this is going to be BRT. I see that we'll have Fiona Marshall, Greta Panels, Jen Sook, Jude Woodcock, Luis Gloin, Nikki Lloyd, Ree Needham, and Sue Watson on this team. And we're going to have a great time getting to know them out here today.
We're going to keep on moving on through. This is going to be the final lap that these boys are starting when it comes, mixed teams. So, in with this team in the green kit, is this going to be the big ring? That's what we're seeing here. And TBR Renegades with a 24-14 battling very closely with the Art Neon team, ART, Adam Racing team. Yeah, and then Evo Flux on the chase. 10-second difference between them and the RR Sumatran Rhinos. The RR Black Rhinos leading things out at that 23-35 is the current situation. You did just see in the lower right-hand corner, the picture-in-picture was the women's TTT just about to get out on course here with the Viennas. But one lap to go, and TBR Renegades, they're hunting it down. And I think with the reality of the way that this climb comes at you, I think they could still win it if they bring back. They can bring back 20 seconds. I think 20 seconds is doable amongst this category. But going to be a big ask. But if they've saved anything and they drop one or two riders off and just give it a go, it's only. So if you're going good, this is about. In this category, I'm assuming a 14-ish minute, maybe a little 15-ish minute lap. So if they can take a couple of seconds off, make it more of a 15 sub, and let a couple riders go, I mean, it's doable, Dave.
Yeah, I mean it's so hard to negative split on a team time trial, but Nathan, that's really the pacing, the schedules that you set. That's the name of the game. I mean, they're in pretty good shape here. Get this little gap tightened up here, but I like the number of riders that they have, and here we go. This is your launch pad on the bridge here. The timing sector you can see right at the end of the bridge. So I'd like to see everybody together right now because, as you said, Nathan, you can use the draft here. It's, I mean, they're moving still at 25K per hour. It gets very steep. It's not a steady climb. It's not even close to a steady climb. It's about really that middle third is the steepest part. So here we go. Race is on. It's the nitty gritty out here now.
Yeah, Brummer, I think, was getting a little bit excited. I think he really wanted to start seeing some of this time come back.
Boy.
Hawkins now, a little bit off
Here
the front here with Hartfield. So there, I mean, this is going to be it, though. This is the climb where they're going to make up the most time, especially in this category. Now, we've got on the chase, though.
So look at this. You
in
can
the
see
blue
a
kit?
third team coming right behind. Yeah, so we're going to see possibly 3 teams cross-pollinated out here. And and this is so interesting as far as the dynamic of some riders, when they see a team right in front of them, that's that carrot dangling in front of the horse. They are just motivated to make the catch. But the problem is there's going to be other riders, Nathan, that have been sitting on this team, maybe in a little bit of trouble. All of a sudden, these guys find another level, but they didn't have another level to go to. They were already redlined, and you split your team. This is going to be a dog's breakfast of epic proportions. It's going to be, I mean, it's not a fault of anyone here. This is how racing works. But 3 teams coming together on a steep climb, it's basically going to start to look like one big peloton, Nathan. We'll see how the teams are able to really test them.
Valhalla Dragvando.
Yikes. This is a very unique situation.
But they're making a catch on the Renegades, which is really interesting to see because the Renegades were at 24:14. Valhalla might be like on an absolute jailbreak, as you'd say here, Dave. I mean,
yeah, they are.
They are, this last lap, they are speeding up like crazy. What's going on with Cryogen? All of a sudden, Cryogen.
And all of a sudden, so as they were about to get caught.
Been lit.
Yeah, well, Nathan, this is really interesting because Cryogen was about to get caught. The team, as some guys were like, oh no, you're not catching me, but not everyone was able to do that. Exactly what I was talking about back at the other end here.
Lester pulled another sprint on him.
Oh no. What a bananas. I've never been on the forward climb like this before, Nathan. Loving WTRL today.
All right, looking backwards just a little bit here, Cryogen's just blown apart. They don't even care. Like, it's like they keep on, Leicester's just doing his thing. Sequoia, we're seeing Jardal's here as well. Preston and Io are off the back. Brummer's now mixed in with the TBR. Here comes Vikings.
They're sending out a search party for some of the guys.
There's Vikings discovering new land. Here we go. Small coming over the top. And I think Vikings are going to pass both teams. Valhalla, they may bring back a minute in this last lap if they continue on this way. I would not be surprised if we see Valhalla in the top 3 at the end of this lap with the way they're going.
Oh, it really does flatten out as you come around this corner here. It doesn't go completely flat, but you're through the worst part right now.
There's so many avatars just completely on top.
All over.
I mean, this is like
left,
they got to
right,
get
center,
organized
right? I mean,
here. Look at this. I have never seen this before in a TTT. Small trying to lead out, but Howell not able to get on board. They need 4 riders. Who's going to go with them here? TBR completely separated as well. They're hanging out with the Valhalla boys. Now we've got, it looks like Hartfield saying, okay, I got to come through. 5 watts per kilogram. Hawkins is trying to go with it as well. Only 3 riders from Valhalla. They need 1 more. I said maybe they'd be able to make something happen here, but without Jason getting on board here, this is only going to be 3.
There's 3 teams represented in this 4-rider group right here. I mean, in a team time trial world, Nathan, to have 3 different teams represented in a 4-rider group tells you that it has gone haywire. It's off the tracks right now. It is mental, chicken oriental out here right now. Oh, man.
Oh, boy. This is definitely a new... like
a new
never
day
seen before. Never seen this before. Never seen this before.
I hope our timing guys are
just
ready.
Jumping. out on
Can you imagine
course
at the
here.
finish line? The things will get back together. I'm just kidding. Things will settle down here once they get another couple minutes, and we'll start sorting. But it's just this is the nature of the beast. Should have seen it coming, to tell you the truth. There was almost no way that racing with the forward climb wouldn't bring this scenario up. We might see this again with the women, to tell you the truth.
So it looks like Angular Momentum on the women's side of things have only started with 3 from what I can see. We got Faith as well as S. Chang and C. Hughes. Rave have a ton of riders, but they got a little bit of a gap going on already with P. Christoph. It does look like Rave started with 8. Good to see them. We'll get their disco songs happening here in just a moment. Actually, I wouldn't say disco.
Those are queued up.
Euro techno is queued up.
EDM or whatever they.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to get. I mean, since we have the dinos here too, we got to get some dinosaurs in. Speaking of dinosaurs, even though there are no dinosaurs actually in the poster competition, but we do have some animals. Let's head over to the poster competition here real quick. Yeah.
Sure.
So I went ahead and doubled down this week actually on the Breaking Bad theme because I just absolutely love it. And this is going to be my selection with the Dirty Chronicle. This table makes so much more sense than Andy's time splits. I mean, very creative. It sure does. But which elements give us most watts? Well, and then speaking of watts, it was. I mean, this next one. I think this was after the TTT, and it was such a great because the Pawaka Wakas. Last week's TTT,
awesome.
the Pawaka Wakas were awesome, and we learned so much about this like insane bird that's like tiny little devil bird or something. But be careful, one of these can take an eye out from Dave. More Pawaka Watts, Dave. Hawk Ozzy, Director Sportif. Oh man, good stuff.
Yeah, they were going up. They were going up against the Vikings, and we called it a fair fight, Nathan. One of these Pawaka Wakas, which. They're a demon bird, basically. But man, can they make watts.
This was also Martin's pick as well. I doubled down on the also the Dirty Chronicle here. This is hilarious. Menu more watts, $19.99. Laxatives are $2.99. Stewart, he's still in there. Breaking watts. This is actually
These guys are so funny.
This is actually the RV we were talking about last week. Diggler in the background there. This is just too good. Really well done. Well done by the team here. So let's go ahead and jump back in, though, with the racing. The men are about to finish up their race. The women are out on course. We'll get in with them in just a moment here. But Valhalla, solid. Looks like they've gotten things back together. They have picked up a straggler, though, from Cryogen.
They've got a Cryogen rider with them. Yeah, so he's on Zwift Power changing his team signature right now. But so actually that makes me wonder, is Cryo still up ahead here? And I'm going to be criticizing right now is not at all the name of the game, because if you're a rider, you're trying to get up to your team, and I'm guessing that Cryo is still up the road.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild out here.
4 riders up there.
Right.
It's wild.
So he's trying to get back up to his team, and I don't know. I'd do the same thing, to tell you the truth. Would you?
I think it's time to throw in the towel once you're dropped that far. I mean,
you're right.
Yeah,
you know what?
It's time. You get dropped. It's done. You're done. It's over.
Actually, you make a great point, Nathan. I want to follow the rules. Okay, that's a good way to put it. And so I think that maybe the spirit of the rules are you don't sit on another team. So it probably would be better to pull the pin and chase on your own. Give them 10 meters, and I think that would be the best bet. Just out of the being sporting, spirit of sportsmanship.
Keep on moving through. Make sure we get through all of the riders out here. Looks like Jones did just that. Maybe he's watched the broadcast.
Good. Nice.
It looks like...
I didn't want to be a heavy or mean person. I was just saying I think that's probably what we do here. And you have to understand the etiquette of sport, right?
38-37. Evo
Which
Flux
rhinos
still
are these? Are
going
these
down.
Sumatran?
Now, this is going to be
black.
I believe this is going to be the black rhinos, because number 9, the Sumatrans were 6. And if we keep looking back,
Oh, they would have already gone through that time check as well.
No, I think I'm incorrect. Actually,
Sumatras already went through.
this is going to be the Black Rhinos. This is going to be the Black Rhinos because they're the furthest back, and they were the 9th out on course, one of the top seeds, if not the top seed, actually, at that 23.
So they're running. Their running time, Nathan, let's call it 38 right now, and they're basically that check is at 22K where they're at. So I'm going to say they've got the fastest time. It looks like.
Yeah, it might be by a pretty good margin.
30 seconds even. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like 30, 40 seconds is my guess.
Yeah, jumping
These guys are flying.
Ryan, Aparanta. Eddie is here as well. Solid 60
Possibly
kilometers per hour.
Eddie
Getting into the super tuck here. Possibly, except for
that's how Eddie Merckx spells it. I don't know. There's a limited number of Eddies in the world. So
roll the
actually,
dice.
It's different. It's T Eddie. Sorry, there.
Rolling the dice there, Dave. Rolling the dice.
Rolling the dice. It's a small chance, but so the Renegades with that 38-37. That's a solid advantage, Nathan, over the Jaffa team that we were spending time with at the start of the race. They're really having a good ride, Evo Flux Jaffa. So let's see if they can hold on to a podium spot as the big dogs are coming for them now. Our fastest qualifiers are just going through the 22K checkpoint, 27-ish K of racing out here, 3 laps on Watopia.
You're right, Dave. 38-15 are our Black Rhinos able to take that down. Now, the Z-Sun were caught, it looks like, by that team because they were the 7th out on course. Adam Racing Team Neon were 8th out on course. AC 38-40 is their time right now. So there's a battle at the top there for that 3rd spot. We'll see if Evo Flux Jaffa can bring some of that back. But Z-Sun, they're going to be heading to the finish line. We'll get in some of the results here for them. We'll check back in with the Mochas and the men's side of things as the results do start to come in, as we got through each and every one of the teams. Let's go ahead on over to the ladies racing, though, as they are making their way around. We do hear Scotty the Squirrel Fountain and the waterfall in the background as we are in with the dynos. WTRL drafting dynos. It's going to be Hind as well as Eleonora Davies. Quite a few here as well as Mitsuru. This is a very international team, actually. Look at all the country flags on the right hand side. Scottish, Wales. We're seeing Italy. We're seeing Sweden in here. Very cool to see from the dynos.
I've always thought that's one of my favorite things about Zwift, and something I picked up on immediately is how it allows us all to connect around the world. So this is a team that's got a tremendous amount of experience. Let's take a look at some split angular momentum. Yeah, get to know that name in the Viennas here. They've been really solid, 10:45, but it's 11 seconds back to the Friday criterion. Blackbirds, Nathan, 11 seconds. That's manageable for sure.
Riders, Dave.
Oh,
10:45 with 3 riders
Great
at the
beasts.
6K mark. Absolutely
Yikes.
flying out here. Amazing job coming in from this team.
You know, one thing, Nathan, a climb like forward climb is for a smaller team, it's a blessing. If you've got 3 riders can get over that climb, you're not going to have to wait for riders at least. So if you get my drift there.
100% got it.
This would be a good course to not have 8 riders.
Got the snowmobile,
because
I'm riding it. We're going.
Yeah, you're floating on the snow. So, all right. Taking a look some more times coming in, the Rave team that we love, Rave C Euro with an 11:32. This is close. And we'll see if the teams that have more riders will be able to take advantage of that later in the race. You would expect that they would. Hot Flush with an 11:16. That's 16 seconds off the time of Live by Cycling Gold. Love this team. That's the team of the Monster Grandma.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They actually had
Isn't
an
it?
awesome
Yeah.
poster. Awesome poster this week.
76-year-old rider on that team. They are sitting in 3rd out here on Watopia Hilly route. We're in the mix now. It's 27K for the women as well. I love that music. Feel like I'm on Eurosport.
we're in with rave. I mean, as soon as we get in
Yeah.
with rave, the music kicks in. They start the dance party every
The
single
vibe. You get the
time.
vibe.
They got the vibe.
There's a-
That's all there is to it.
A doorman just came up and asked me for $20.
Looking through, I'm gonna actually bring in the Live by Cycling poster as well because they are pretty awesome, and you know, they also made a really great poster, the Hillbillies this week. So let's go ahead and bring that in and let everybody know. We also, there's actually on the women's side of things, I definitely want to highlight a few of these posters, but I believe this is gonna be. This is the ones you're talking about, right? With the Live by Cycling? Yeah. And each of the ages, it looks like right there. So pretty cool to see. Wendy at the top. Thanks for the new nickname. What did you give the nickname? What is the
Monster Grandma.
Oh, Monster Grandma I see it in the hand there. It's even in her hand.
Oh yeah. AKA Monster
AKA
Grandma.
Monster Grandma.
These women, man, are they inspirational? I have to say that's one of the things, WTRL, the secret sauce out here. And Nathan, you know what? I'm so happy that you hooked up with Martin and decided to start broadcasting these races because it has changed Thursdays for thousands and thousands of people. And I know that I've seen comments online about people saying that the broadcast is the icing on the cake. And I agree.
Yeah, it's tons of fun. We absolutely love it, and it's a great way to get to know everybody. That's for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely awesome doing so. Now, let's go ahead and make our way through here. We are going to be in with, I believe this is going to be an innovation team, if I'm not
Boy, they look good. I don't think we've seen a team that looks better.
That is used here. So is this going to be an innovation team, though? Because there could be a team that just happened to pick up this kit because Innovation does have their own kit. So they used to use this Alienware kit.
There's
but
our
maybe
first clue. I can figure it out with
be-
that. What team is Arlene on?
Well, this may be the team we were just talking about. This isn't the 50 plus owls, is it? Live by Cycling Gold? Are they using this
Or
kit?
is it?
Maybe.
It's rare that you stump both of us at the same time.
It is. It is very
Yeah.
rare.
Well, I'm going to just talk to the pictures really quickly. So, Nathan, this is, and Martin is saying yes to LBC. Elaine Montoya. We love Elaine. Talk about a great community member. But Nathan, this team, when I was saying they look great, I wasn't talking about their kits or their Tron bikes. I just meant their formation, right? I mean, they are motoring. Since the new user interface was introduced a few weeks ago, the teams are just working through how to get the perfect aerodynamic formation. But this is darn close, and to have at 9K into, so they're a third of the way into the race. They've completed the first of 3 laps out here on Watopia Hilly route. They are doing an exceptional job. To tell you the truth, I haven't seen a team doing better out here, and it looks like they even have a couple of riders who are able to rejoin on this flat section here. So they're reloading.
Well, good organization on the Essies there. Coming through that downhill, though, they did lose a little bit of their organization with the speed coming through. Does look like they are going to bring it back together. I want to highlight they are sitting in 5th place at 11 minutes right now, coming through at that 6 kilometer mark. Aoni and Amiga's there. BRT Inferno Kittens, our feature team, with a solid 10:44. The 5th to go out on course, though. So as teams start to come in, watch out for the Kirchner Vienna Latte, though. They are going to be, as well as Fearsome. Fearsome, I'm wondering if they actually started. We'll have to wait and see if they did show up on the day. Now, this is going to be the featured team we're talking about out here today. And they look very well organized.
This is Hell
10:44 right now with the Inferno Kittens. The Inferno Kittens.
Inferno Kittens, excuse me. What did I say?
Hell Kittens.
No.
Yeah.
No. Inferno Kittens. Sorry. There's a lot of solid kitten teams out here, Nathan, as you well know. So perfect. This is going to be fun. This is a strong group, as we actually were referencing them a little bit earlier. So here is the squad live and in person. They're also out on lap number 2, just the beginning part of lap number 2. But if they've gotten this many riders together over the forward climb the first time, that's a very good indicator, Nathan. And looking for splits here. Okay, there they are, 10:40. Oh, they are right in the mix here. So 10:19 from Kirkmeyer, Vienna Latte. I had a nice chat with Stefan Kirkmeyer. He is so proud of these women. He talked to me about how, the trickle-down effect of what they do in Kirkmeyer, using Discord, how they warm up, the preparation, the cool-down, the debrief, everything applies to every rider in that brand. And boy, is it really paying off. In the Vienna Latte category, that 10:19 is going to be 12 seconds quicker than Z-Sun
Speaking
R
to
Quasar.
the situation happening right now, Needham, for a moment there, we saw her interacting with her camera or something, trying to make sure that she's able to communicate. I'm not sure. And off the back for a moment, look at the effort to get back on turn. She was at 0 watts per kilogram off the back, now getting back involved here. It looks like tri-bars on there, so or else TTT or TT experience maybe in real life as well. We'll see if we can get some of that information through here with Needham. This is going to be Rhiannon Needham. Needham is her Zwift name. One of the newer members of the team, been off Zwift since breaking her collarbone in 2018. Member of BRT since October 2020, and captain of one of the BRT ZRL teams. So being a captain, obviously a lot of experience and somebody who's got some good leadership skills probably. As a rider on Zwift, she does like to sprint. Interesting enough to see. So looking through some of the more information here. Go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say, we should ask if we could join her. She's already done 3 Ride Londons. I want to do that event so badly. Let's go over. We can meet all our friends who work with Zwift, have some meetings, right? So it's going to be a tax write-off, and do Ride London with her. She's an expert now. Ree's done it 3 times.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We would need a guide.
London. Absolutely amazing. Huge ride. That's one of the most popular rides when it comes to the Zwift situation, for sure. That's how it got on my radar.
Massive. Oh, you know what else? I see Sarah Hyatt, Nathan, on this team. And again, we're talking about the BRT squad that we've got right in front of us, the Inferno Kittens. Sarah Hyatt has also done some Ride London. She's got that experience. She is an iron distance competitor, which is extremely cool. She went and did it down in Denmark. So big triathlete, actually runner turned triathlete, and now a tried and true Zwifter.
That's going to be Hyatt. They're actually almost leading things. I think she's sitting on Pinnell's wheel right now. Now she's making her way through to
setting a nice tempo, Nathan.
Really nice.
And a really nice tempo. Yeah. I'm going to move to Fiona Marshall, if you don't mind, Nathan, because this team here, it's a big squad. They've got the entire team is still in the mix. So Fiona likes to mix it up. Some running, some swimming. She discovered the team time trials with us on WTRL a year ago, and she couldn't imagine a better way to spend her Thursday evenings. And I think I can speak for Martin and Nathan and say that we could not be happier to have you joining us. She joined BRT at the end of 2020 and has fit right in with the team. They have a lot of fun chatting, and it's I don't know, spiritual? Is that the word, Nathan? They connect, no doubt about it, on this team. So she discovered riding bikes at the young age of 45. So good for you, Fiona. Fiona just looks cool, doesn't she? I want to hang out with Fiona.
This entire time, she has been super energetic, actually, throughout, talking a ton, I've noticed, really trying to lead things up. Lots and lots of energy and excitement, that's for sure. And I think it has been a huge part of getting this solid time this week. So looking at this times right now, they are sitting in 5th place. They can battle for a podium spot if they're able to catch the Quasars. They're going to have to get a little bit organized and put some power down in the front. Pinnell's continues to take over, it looks like, though. That's going to be the rider out of Belgium.
Yeah, and I mean, what better place to find a cornerstone for your team time trial squad is a Belgian. One of the things I love is that she and her husband have a passion for getting out and traveling to some of the iconic.
She gave us a wave as well.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, you want to hang out, no doubt, with Gretel because she has ridden up Mont Ventoux in real life, up Stelvio in real life, and they were going to do Galibier, but because of Corona, they had to postpone that to 2022. So, I mean, that's just someone who clearly has a zest for life, and I think that's awesome. Her husband's name is Peter, and clearly they love riding together, and that's extremely healthy, no doubt about it. So
3 years ago, he
thank you.
introduced to cycling, actually, and it's been a journey. He encourages to go above and beyond, Peter does. Although he thinks I'm a bit exaggerating by buying 3 bikes in the last year and a half. Well, come on. I mean,
I don't.
Gretel, I don't. N plus one,
right.
Gretel. I mean, we should just put N
Yep.
plus one across the top of her video right now. I mean,
I'm
you're good
surprised
to
there's
go.
not a team. Yeah,
Peter,
there should be an N plus one
Peter
team.
should give us a thumbs up in video right now because I think he's off to the side about N plus one.
So I don't want to be too inside baseball for people, Nathan, because so N plus one would be the kind of thing that my dad would ask me, what does that mean? And so I'm going to tell
Go
folks,
ahead. Let
right,
everybody know. Everybody
Right.
know what N plus one
N
is.
plus one is basically the formula when someone asks, how many bikes are enough bikes for a person that has a passion for cycling? And the answer is N plus one. It's never enough. You always need one more. There's always one more bike that you like. And right now, for a lot of people, what? It's a new
The
gravel
variable
bike.
N stands for whatever you have right now for bikes. The number you have right
plus
now.
one.
The plus one is all you just. There's always another one coming.
Right. So that explains it perfectly, Nathan. Hey, Gretel, good luck out there. Keep it going. You are a rock star. No doubt about it.
Now, I want to jump in with our director sportif because she's here giving, just
Sue?
absolutely killing it,
Sue
right?
Watson?
I mean, look at her. She looks in command. She is the general. Just letting everybody know exactly what to be doing, when, and how. And she's obviously watching Zwift, knowing where everybody. How important is this role, Dave? I mean, you can't have a solid TT with you. You've watched some of my live streams where we didn't have a DS and we tried doing it without one, and how disorganized and angry we all got at each other. I mean, we literally just were blowing up the whole time.
No, I mean, we almost need to bring in a mediator. And then basically.
No, for real. I'm not kidding.
Actually, a mediator would have been helpful. No, you know what's great is, so basically, I was going to say, Nathan, before you ask that question, which I'm going to answer, Sue Watson is the DS, but I kind of look at her as the CEO, president of the board, chairwoman of the board, because this is the critical role here. And as you said, how do you avoid needing a mediator? We have someone in charge, someone who gives clear direction, someone who's a leader, and to be honest, isn't racing. I think at this point, it's pretty clear to me that if you can find someone who wants to be a part of your team, much like the coxswain in rowing, that person doesn't row, but they're an integral part of the team. And same thing for the DS. If the team wins, the DS wins, and vice versa. So Sue Watson embodies all of what we're talking about. Stay calm, give clear direction, and Nathan, I think even more importantly, have a plan, but also have the ability to change as is necessary.
100%. I'm wondering, perhaps I'm thinking about maybe if we could
she's a sprint duathlon champion in Europe.
Wow.
Age grouper. Yeah, Sue is. So it's not like Sue can't do this. She just chooses to direct.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah,
see if
good
we
for
can
you.
bring in, perhaps, hear a little bit of the direction that's coming through as well.
Oh, wow. Great.
Let's see if we can unmute. I don't know if we're going to be able to. Everybody coming in, everybody's asked to mute, so there isn't a whole lot of wild talk going on. It can get pretty crazy. But Sue Watson, absolutely. One other thing I want to highlight here is that she's been a DS and a member of both RC since June, and a Zwifter since January of last year. So, one thing that always amazes me is how a lot of these Zwifters, in my opinion, are young Zwifters too. And how quickly they've picked up this format to just become a regular part of their lives and sport. Like, they have really, I mean, the sport of Zwift it so speaks to how quickly it's picked up and how much it's really grown and become such a huge part of people's lives.
Well put, Nathan. I was just thinking about this, but we've talked so much, or not us per se, but just in general about the impact the pandemic had on Zwift and how the numbers skyrocketed and all of the different ripple effects, that how it became really hard to find a trainer, and then the positive things like WTRL that really grew. Well, now that we're hopefully going to start moving out of pandemic talk and vaccination, and people are going to start getting back to in real life events, you know what? This won't change. The Thursdays aren't going to change, because it's not like all of a sudden all of these people that have become passionate about this are going to switch up to something else to do on Thursday evenings in Europe or Thursdays midday here in the United States, Nathan. People have found their thing. I mean, it's for some people, we've been looking for decades to find our tribe, and you found it through these terrible times. And this has become something that there's no reason to stop doing this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to expect it continues to grow. I'm bullish on this market rather than being a bear about it. I just think that, look at this team, BRT, that we're talking about now, the Inferno Kittens. You don't think
They
these
just
women
had the fastest time a moment ago. They were at a
they're killing it
24:32 there. Now coming in.
So Nathan, who are we in with now? Is this Louise, Nikki, or Jude, or Jennifer?
Nikki Lloyd. This is gonna be Nikki Lloyd.
Nikki Lloyd. Holy cow! So Nikki's a machine. I mean, just flogging herself like a rented mule. Finally sitting down, just a wattage coming out, oozing out of Nikki Lloyd. She's into riding anything with two wheels, whether it's mountain bikes, road bikes, motorbikes. She's into it. I'm a big fan of people with that kind of ambition. That's a good word for Nikki.
She's been on the team as well since its inception, and she also skis and runs. So all about everything when it comes to.
Look at her garage. Look at her gain cave. That's the new one, Nathan. So pain cave, now gain cave. Look, I mean, like, she can work on your bike. She can tune your skis. They got that's a Renaissance garage that they have there. There's a lot of cool things that happen in that space.
She wants to give a special shout out, actually, too. This is interesting one. Special shout out to the fabulously awesome Rob Tomlin, who got her addicted to Zwift in the first place. And in return, I got him hooked racing for BRT. So pretty cool to see.
It's a symbiotic relationship. They both help each other.
She's broken 16 bones in her body so far.
She said she's into motorcycles.
Oh,
I'm going to guess that's more motorcycles. Don't you think it's more motorcycles than bikes? Give me a thumbs up
probably.
if it's more motorcycles, please.
Yeah. Let us know. Is it more motorcycles than bikes? It says, it's a miracle that I've made it this far in life. I live and work in this particular part of the world, the Scottish Highlands. Advanced paramedic practitioner. Wow. Cool. So it could be argued that I should know better than to injure myself regularly. She just knows she's got herself covered.
That's cool. Really, really cool. This world needs more people like Nikki Lloyd, huh?
I thought you were just going to leave it there. I thought you were just going to leave it at.
We need more people.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
No, we don't. No, I think that there's a lot of global agencies that would tell me that is not correct. We do not need more people.
Well, then Nathan's doing it wrong.
That's funny. So, well, hey, that was fun to get to meet Nikki Lloyd for sure. There's a lot of riders on this team that are still participating, and Jennifer's got
a big smile. Did you see the wave coming from Jennifer as she heads downhill here? Absolutely awesome.
Oh, man. Okay, first off, Nathan, if I have a team, I want Jennifer on it. Jennifer Sock we're with right now. She's been racing in real life since 2019, and she's been on Zwift for over a year. Joining the Inferno Kittens, though, only at the end of March. So she lives somewhere near me in the Rocky Mountains, although they're pretty big mountain range. Might not be that. I
wonder if she's at elevation.
Well, she's in the Rocky Mountains. She's at least at 5,000 feet.
Gotcha. Right on.
Yep. So, the bigger the climb, the better. So she lives in the right place. Nathan, was that ride that you did called the Rift, the team time trial in Iceland?
No.
You went and raced a few years ago.
That was the WoW
This is
Cyclothon. The Rift is coming up.
Oh,
The Rift is
right.
coming up.
And she's planning on doing it.
Oh, well, I might see her.
Get out of here! Oh, really?
I might see. We'll see it. There's plans in the mix. There's plans in the mix. We'll see what happens. But there's also other plans. Work might get in the way, but there's been some chatter happening about maybe trying to make that happen. So that'd be pretty cool. That's
a good trivia
really
question.
Awesome race.
Nathan, what's the longest time you've gone between broadcasts on Zwift Racing or Zwift Community Live? I mean, you've been doing this for many years, and doing something like that Iceland trip probably wasn't that long.
We broadcasted from Iceland.
There you go. So, yeah, I'm not surprised.
We broadcasted from Iceland. So we had somebody on the ground, Mr. Johnny. For those who've been around for a while, Johnny was a part of the broadcast team at ZCL and now works at Zwift. But he ended up going live and bringing me in live to talk about what was happening on the ground in Iceland. So
I'd love to go back and look at those. Oh, by the way, just like we've had some previous shout-outs, Jennifer wanted to shout out her hubby, Bartek, for the support and encouragement to get out and race. And good for you, Bartek. That's extremely cool. And her dad for teaching her that hills were something to love.
Well, she's going after the hills now. Look at her. Actually, she's doing exactly what Dad taught her. That's for sure. Right now, as she digs in on those pedals, she's got a good form on the bike actually for climbing.
Sure does. No,
yeah, she's dropping the heel. She knows what she's doing there. You
could put her out in real life, and she would be she's actually aerodynamic. I mean that's solid because what you see sometimes is riders who never race outside are almost like on a spin bike, sitting straight up, right? And boy, when they get outside, they're going to realize that you got to get you want that eggshell on your back look that you see with the professionals. And
exactly,
you saw
the activation there was great, all the way through.
Really
too.
Good,
very well done on the form.
Clearly, someone who in real life has, like you said, form. That's the word, and that's exactly.
I want to know where Oliver is. Is that Oliver's bed in the background there? Because she's got a dog.
Oliver?
The last shout out is Oliver, my team dog, who stays by me while I'm Zwift racing. I believe that's going to be Oliver's bed in the background there. That he hangs
Oliver
out
is
there.
Out. He's roamed away from his bed.
Oliver's, he's not here with us today. So no cheerleader today. That might be a couple less watts here. Come on, Oliver, you got to get with the program, buddy.
Well, Nathan, again, not to criticize, but how do you know that Oliver isn't right next to her feet?
Yeah, maybe.
I think
asking
I just
for
saw
a biscuit, actually.
Yeah, right.
She says she's constantly looking at the world as one big learning experience, whether it's getting a master's or certificates to add for work growth. Absolutely awesome. Continuing education. Excuse me.
So, Nathan, we've had a chance to meet Ree, Sarah, Fiona, Gretel, Jennifer, Nikki. I think Louise is still in the mix, and I want to give a shout out to Jude Woodcock as well. Keep it going out there, Jude. And I'm not sure, but just don't want to make sure we get everybody here. And Louise.
This is going to be Louise.
You're awesome, Louise. Here we go. So another triathlete and confirmed Zwift addict, a self-acknowledged Zwift addict. Hello, my name is Louise, and I'm a Zwift addict. She's managed to finish the famous Milan-San Remo bike race. Listen to this, Nathan. So Milan-San Remo is, they call it La Primavera. It's the first monument of the year. Monuments are the 5 most important races like Paris-Roubaix, Flanders, Liège, and Milan-San Remo, as I mentioned. These are the biggest, hardest bike races. Many of them are over 100 years old. She's ridden Milan-San Remo, not in the World Tour, but she's ridden it in a race, 300 kilometers. Unbelievable. She made it before they have a cutoff there, and she made it inside of that. That is badass. No doubt. 300K in one day, Louise. Yay. But she's a triathlete.
I mean, you don't get that Ironman logo behind her there just on happenstance either. So
Gonna just hand those out.
no, I don't think so. I
No.
think that's and I'm seeing 3 of them. I think I see 3. I'm not positive, but they look like the same.
What she's done is she's taking
accomplishments
her
there.
finishers. Yeah, it looks like what those plaques represent completed Ironman, I'm going to guess.
That's what I'm thinking too. So pretty awesome in the pain cave there, the gain cave, as you're calling it now. To take that one on.
Oh, she
Denise?
wants to go to Switzerland. So do I. She's going to look to go to do an Ironman Switzerland if she can after COVID
nice.
lights up. We wish her good luck.
Very cool. Fun and crazy triathlon team is Todo por un Sueño. Did I say that right?
I was going to ask you if you knew what that meant. All for one team? Sueño. What is Sueño? I have to look that up. Todo means all, right?
Sueño means sleep? No.
All for one something is my guess. We'll see how close I got. Someone will let us know.
Is that actually means sleep? Does it mean sleep? I think sueño means sleep.
You know what? That would translate. That could make sense. All for a good sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all this effort, exhausting yourself, basically.
Someone's gonna get on us.
Someone's gonna tell me I'm so wrong. It's not even funny, but right. You know how this goes, Nathan. We've seen this before, right? Dave
well,
makes
now
a
they're gonna be
statement.
like, "I thought your last name was Guerra, Nathan. What's going on here? And you can't even speak Spanish. Oh, what is the problem?" I don't know. I agree. Why can't I speak Spanish? That's a good question.
Well, I think that we can spread that around because if you've ever heard me with Norwegian names, people just in Norway are up in arms. They've gone to the UN to ask me to stop.
Yeah,
So,
you've been barred from the country.
Barred from Norway, right? Just brutalizing the language. But getting back to it, the Inferno kids, Nathan, are down to less than 7K to go out on lap 3 of 3 here on Watopia Hilly route.
The Amigas!
27 total. Hey!
24.19 for the Amigas, Aeonian.
Here.
I got some socks that I wore the last 2 days. I wore them 2 days in a row. I loved them so much.
You know what?
So-
I just like with World of Zwift, I never know if I'm going to be on or if you're going to be on. And I also got the socks, but I didn't know if you got the socks, so I didn't want to make you feel bad if you didn't yet.
Well, I never.
So,
you can't make me feel bad, Dave. It's all.
Oh,
good.
come on. You know how, I mean,
It'd be okay.
So
Indian
we
Amigas,
both
though, they're awesome. The socks are
Love
so
'em.
great. I'm gonna try and get them in the laundry tonight, and I'm gonna wear them during my MTB race, I think, and try and get them in the pictures. You know,
get some
'cause-
Aeonian power.
Yeah,
going
get some
for you.
Aeonian power going.
So I don't know if there was ever a team that was more grateful and happy to see their jersey in game. This was a community league team in the ZRL that just, to not use a better term, they knocked our socks off. They were so strong. And I saw, now the Aeonian team is featured in World of Zwift. I love people watching that show. So I'm excited to be back on next week, actually. So World of Zwift, go check out the Aeonian feature. And, well, Nathan, it's fair. Aeonian is another one of the brands now. They must have 15, 20,
What's
30
crazy,
different-
here's the thing about Aeonian is that they did exactly what we had talked about last October. And that's a talking point that's going to go down in the history of Zwift racing. And Aeonian are at the forefront of that. They're right there with Socks for Watts, Aeonian, Kirchmer with the bees. You've got these teams, Restart. They were the first ones to go, we want a kit and we're going to go earn it. And we're going to make a new brand. Kirchmer's been around for a while, actually. Restart had been around for a while as another team, but they rebranded and boom, now you have Restart in the game. But Aeonian, Egowatt's another one, right? Where it was like, we're making a new team and we're just going to go earn it, right? Like, and that's and Egowatt are still on that trajectory to earn it and have the kit in game. But I mean, Aeonian, they are right there in the history of Zwift making and the sport and the way that they're like the evil geniuses of old school or Cloud9 of old school esports, right? Like everybody in esports knows, well, Cloud9 was one of the first esports organizations. Evil Geniuses, one of the first esports organizations.
Yeah.
Now we got all kinds
Love
of esports organizations that are popping up all over the place, right? The tons of them that are and some that are more successful than those old school organizations because they've copied or whatever they've done, the business side of it and really grown that brand in the height of things, but this is going to go down in history as one of those teams for sure.
I agree. Nathan, Carl Anthony in the comments says, but he put a question mark, Carl, which means I don't know if you're sure or not, but Carl is saying all for one, one for all is what that meant.
Okay, gotcha.
Which I think
that
he's
is
close.
something that reminds
that was kind
me,
of the direction I was going.
That reminds me real quickly. I need to give a couple of shout outs actually before we go. So, a couple of things that are happening in the community that definitely need to be highlighted. And one of them, because you said Carl, is Caleb Carl. Everybody, if you haven't checked this out, he is one of the streamers that's out there. He's been a part of Skylabs for a long time, the Skylabs team.
Really strong racer. I know his name for sure.
Yeah, Caleb crashed horribly a couple of weeks back. No. Such a bad crash that we were worried if Caleb was going to be with us still. He really, really broke a lot of bones. And he recently got back on Zwift in a what's the bike that you sit on? That you sit instead, like you not you bike that you sit on, but you're in a laying down position.
A recumbent.
Recumbent.
Bike?
Thank you, recumbent. Yes, the doc used to bring him all the time to the drop the dock over here in Wisconsin. But yeah, recumbent. I saw him on a recumbent pedaling again.
Good
just
for him.
Shout out to him and shout out to him getting well soon. I know he had to have some surgeries. There was a fundraiser out there to cover it for him and everything. I think that he got a lot of support with that as well. So a big shout out to that whole situation happening with Caleb Carl. We hope to see him, back out on the platform racing at the high level again, because that's the guy who would do like 5 or 6 races a day. I mean, he was going so good.
And finish on the podium, like in our Zwift WTRL community ZRL races in the A level. He was doing this. It was incredible. Well, he'll be back. That's really, I guess it's bad news followed up by hope. So that's encouraging. Hey, Caleb, I'm with Nathan. Heal up quick, man.
100%. Now, one other thing that's happening here, and I just want to make sure that we get the information all 100% correct here. But we do have also an event coming up that one of our top esports riders is putting on. And that's going to be Caroline Williams. Yeah, Caroline Williams is putting together this really, really great. We did just have these gals finish here, so we'll get that. We'll get some of our riders back. That was the Live by Cycling Gold actually that just came across the line.
Oh, good.
I think. Or no, Angular. I think Angular just came across the line. We'll find a few more of our riders out here in just a moment.
This is important. I really want to give you the space, Nathan, because Caroline has a huge heart, and this means a lot to her, and we really want to support the ride.
100%. Now, as we look to jump in with that, we lost the ladies out here. I'm sad to say. We'll see if we can jump back in and find them. Here we go. Back in with the drafting dynos. Keep on moving on through with a lot of them. Somehow
they're all right
in the men's race. I have no idea how that actually just happened. Like, that was really weird. Like, that wasn't even the event that we were in, so I have no idea how we ended up over in the men's race there for a moment. But we'll jump in with KC because I know they're going to give us a little bit of time to chatter here and find some of this information. But let's go ahead and jump on over and see this. We do have a ride on for Zachary Tour that is coming up. We can go ahead and bring this right on in. The ride-ons for Zachary Tour. Caroline Williams is doing this crazy, amazing ride. 3 different rides in a row, attempting to cycle 600 kilometers with around 33,000 feet of elevation across 3 days in memory of her son Zachary and to help raise funds of awareness for Tiny Lives Trust. It would have been Zachary's 6th birthday on May 29th of this year, everybody. It would mean the world to her if you could join in and take part in some or all of the following rides. We created this tour, which will provide a challenge for anyone looking to test themselves. Can you make it to the end of one of these routes or even all 3? This is amazing. She's doing Saturday the 29th, 8 horsemen, 4 horsemen times 2 laps. Okay, 2,000 kilometers, 14,000 feet of elevation. Day 2, she's doing on Sunday, May 30th, PRL Box Hill after party, PRL plus 3 more times up Box Hill, 200 kilometers. And on day 3, Monday, the 31st of May, Super Uber Pretzel. That's Uber Pretzel 1.5 times, including twice up the Epic for another 200 kilometers. That is all for a ride on for Zachary. They are going to be raising money specifically for the Tiny Lives Trust. They lost their son shortly after he was born, and it would have been his 6th birthday on May 29th. They did get some time with him, and so really, really great thing to do in his memory that they're setting this up and raising money for this. So go ahead and help her out in doing that in memory of him. I do know it's a really awesome way that she does things to remember him and, work through that still, obviously, grieving process, in some ways.
Caroline
also
Williams
celebration as well in some ways, too, of a life and what you can do off of the back of a hardship.
Yeah, Caroline is an amazing human being, and anybody who can support her, please do.
Can you give
It'll
some people
feel
might not
great.
know who Caroline is. Caroline is one of the top riders for Team Hino, by the way, in
right,
the Premier League at the top level of our esport, because Hino is the top women's team in the world in Zwift esports right now. So just to give an idea of who we're talking about as well here, pretty amazing.
She's a legend. And I mean, when you talk, I was saying the other day, Hino is the greatest esports team, man or woman, of all time, at least in my world so far. So she is an exceptional human being, but also, I mean, her talent is quite impressive on the bike, but a heart that she shows off the bike too, Nathan. You just can't say enough. So looking forward to seeing that be a huge success. In with Kirkmeyer here.
I think we just jumped around on you. My bad.
Yeah. No worries.
But like, nope, see you later.
About a half K for the finish.
Is this going to be? This is not the drafting dynos. Is this going to be another? Oh, are there 2 different drafting dynos in this, perhaps?
There's the Dutch Diesel, and drafting dynos. I think the DD.
Oh, gotcha.
That might be so you see 2 DDs sometimes. Sometimes it's Dutch Diesel, sometimes it's drafting dynos.
I don't see any Dutch Diesels in here, though.
That
might have just been some drafting dynos that got dropped, I think. I think that's what happened.
Dutch Diesel Cycling with Andy Smith, Daniel Torelli, Diane Mitchell-Prey.
Are they on here right now? Are they on this?
I had them in here.
Have to give maybe they're riding for another team.
That might be me. So this is still spawning out of the B pen, right?
Yeah, maybe they jumped into a team though to guest ride. We'll have to wait and see. But we are looking at Z-Sun here. Z-Sun, excuse me. This is gonna be the Quasars.
Z-Sun.
Finishing up their ride. We did get that correction in chat, so we appreciate that. Drine using out up by Cook Biner. It's going to be Pi, and then they are being chased down very quickly by Kirchmer and the Vienna Latte Kirchmer team hammering away. They were the second fastest seed coming in. They're a little bit split up here, actually, as this is actually going to be
pretty ragged
Kirchmer up the road. So I think that they just let a few go because it was
they got 4, so they're okay. Finish line's right in front of them.
I didn't know. Is this Arrow Sparkles as well? Interesting. Do we have? Did we jump around to a totally different pen, perhaps?
I think so.
I'm seeing the bees here, which is interesting. Maybe they're just mixing in somehow.
I gave up, actually, a couple of minutes ago.
It's just like, what is happening here?
I'm like, hey, we only got a half K to go. I'm just going to roll it in from here.
So this is going to be Team Fearsome, though. This is the correct team. Stryker, Johansson, McQueen,
there
as well
we go.
As Whiteman.
Good job,
but,
Nathan.
I think Socks for Watts popped in here because somehow I think that they perhaps were just giving us a little look here for a moment at what was happening with this Socks for Watts team from another pen. But Now we're just going to lose everybody. Fearsome's about to cross the line. Let's just head on over to the results when we do get them
Been
up.
a big day out on Watopia. The Hilly route, challenging team time trial course that we raced on. They did 3 laps for 27K. Yeah, this is a challenging course. It's within the parameters of what makes for a real TTT, but man, it is on the exceptionally forward climb. That's an impressive little segment to get through.
Yeah, you know what? We didn't, because of all of our features, we kind of like just focused in on the riders and not so much the climb, which is great. I actually kind of like
okay.
that. It changes it up a little bit, I think, for the program. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, these actual real people who are actually riding bikes somewhere and not just these avatars moving
not
around
robots.
the course on, the Watopia Hilly. Now I want to take a quick look at the course records here and see if we've set any new records at all yet today. And then we'll start looking at results.
This is not
in just a second.
Not a time of the year when a lot of records are broken. You know what I mean? The teams are kind of rebuilding.
Yeah. I mean, this is the situation here. Saxwatts WRT 3801, Alien Venditas, Vienna Latte. We're seeing Bristol RC, the Brat Pack, and Doppio. I'm pretty sure most of these are
3801 gets you, for the women, that 3801 probably puts you right in the middle of the elite men today. That's a really good ride, and there's no way that was
half of that. That's that Sox for Watts and the Sox for Watts.
That's half Hino.
Hino,
right.
Yeah. Sox Watts, half Hino. So
Fearless, Hino, it's all stars.
This is cool. I didn't know the choppers were showing up this week. Maybe they didn't.
Oh, there's a team would have a chance if they're.
They actually didn't show up this week. We're getting everything.
Fake news. Fake news.
Fake. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the results. Let's go ahead on over to the Doppios first. And it is going to be the Innovation Euro Aliens with a 35-36. Absolute flying on the rivet blur. My boys coming in second place, 35-58. Kirchmer Development are in 35. 1 second difference with Canyon Esports losing. They must be. They're out here practicing for their TTT next week.
Yeah, they had a couple Devo riders racing today. I saw earlier. So
gotcha.
But but that's how you do it, right? You show up in WTRL and do your homework. So when you show up in ZRL, you don't get outclassed. Canyon is such a great team. But today was a team building day. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, gotcha. Makes sense. That makes sense. Evo Warriors come on through with 36-20 from Zone 1. Zone 1 was really competitive today in Doppio. Cryogen Kestrel, Z-Sun Hercules, and Evo Warriors all from Zone 1. If they hold on to that at the end of the day, they will be Platinum League. They probably are getting up at an interesting time. So we're not sure they'll make it to the time zone. But in the Platinum League, Z-Sun Red Giants take down 8th and in 9th place. It is going to be Vision. And then in the Espressos.
Thanks, Nathan. Let's take a look at the top of the table. Boom. It's good to see the Dad's Inside Riding Trainers, the Diggler edition, getting the gold. Nice work. And that was out of Zone 1. In our Platinum League, we had the CryoGen Gulls as the fastest team racing with us at a 36.59. That was 5 seconds behind Dirt Diggler out here today on the aggregate. Ram Raiders will take the bronze medal up at this point, as there are still some zones still to race. But the Ram Raiders right now with their third fastest time at a 37.07, only 1 second quicker than the Jekas, as they will be fourth fastest right now. Fifth fastest is Atom Racing Team Nuclear. You don't want to make mistakes with nuclear power, Nathan. Bad things can happen. Meltdowns, but not here. 37.28, their time for fifth fastest right now. INC Alien Express with the sixth fastest time. Team CLS Dynamos out of Zone 9, seventh fastest. Back to the Platinum League for our next three teams is R3R Thunder in eighth as of now. TSC Waffles, ninth, and then Evo Espresso 2. Those are your 10 fastest times at this moment for our Espressos.
In the Frappe, Down and Dirty Blackbirds come on through for 37.57, currently in first place. Kiss Racing Team KRT in second. R3R ACDC followed by Evil Warlords, that is 38.24 and 38.32 for third and fourth. The Vikings Jomungdar in fifth. It's going to be Innovation Alien Horde, followed up by ZRGRTTT. Team CLS B52s, only 4 seconds back from them in eighth. Z Sun Saturn in ninth. 1 second split between them and CLS. And then Dirty Steamers, coming on through for 10th.
Hey, there was your Dirty Streamers. Someone make sure that gets on the internet. As this is now the lattes that we're looking at. Are our woolly rhinos taking the fastest time in our Platinum League here. Went to zone 1, first zone in the morning. Eat Dirt 2. That's a 41.39. Look how close this was out there. As Vikings Molnir, the third fastest time. They're also Platinum League. And it's going to be, let's see here, TFC Spitfire, fourth fastest. Dirt Time Chasers Megas, fifth fastest. Sixth fastest would be Team Type 1 Lancettes. It's Zed Sun R Kronos in seventh. Cryogen Emus, eighth. And Gage in ninth. And 3L. Those are your 10 fastest times up till this very moment. Good job to the RR Woolly Rhinos, back on top of the table. Back to you, Nathan, for the Mochas.
Wow. What is going on here? Is this going to be right? I'm going to double check. Maybe. Let me just double check here and eat.
I see why you're saying that, certainly.
Yeah.
One team that much faster than all the other teams that are so close together.
Well, not just that. There's not a single Platinum League here. Not a single one. So I'm wondering if the Platinum League's not coming through on the...
I mean, that almost is impossible. So, yeah, good catch, Nathan.
Yeah, I'm going to wait and see.
The Platinum League isn't always going to be the fastest time of the day, but they're certainly going to have teams in the top 10.
Yeah, I'm just going to reload the page real quickly here and just we'll go through the Vienna Espressos, and I'll jump back over to Mochas in just a minute. Sox Watts Aero Unicorns with the 40-44 coming on through, and it's going to be CCY Race Like a Girl, 41.03. That was the battle. Wow. So Sox Watts Aero Unicorns are getting pretty fast, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Able to take down a Race Like a Girl. Kirshner Women Dev Team. I'm loving to see that. Very cool. Great job to them. And having that new dev team out there and grabbing the that third place coming in from. Oh, but Ionian RT update the boards as we speak from Zone 9 and just shut it down as they get ready for next week. We got all these Premier Division teams showing up, getting ready for their TTT. Jet Ladies Racing Team then, 5th, DFC Vixen, RRDT Rens, BRT Atomic Kittens, and BBBB. I'm going to just go to the next board before things keep updating out of that Zone 9. It looks like it was pretty competitive. Shout out to Aeonian, though, as they updated things.
Let's take a look then at our Vienna Frappes here and the top of the table. 2 Platinum League teams here, Zed Sun R Pluto. They will take the gold medal as of right now. Crush Pod slotting in for silver. Vikings Valkyrie, third fastest time out of Zone 1. It's Kirkmeyer Wild Bees in the 4th spot. The Vegan Gazelles, 5th. AHDR, that's the Australian Hump Day Ride Amazons, sitting in the 6th spot at this moment. Kirkmeyer Freebies, that's one of my favorite names, in 7th. Evo Comets in 8th. Socks for Watts, the Odd Socks, 9th fastest, and then the Vegan Bees, 10th fastest. So you see the theme here. Certainly a couple of our Bees teams, the Wild and the Free, along with the Vegan Gazelles and Vegan Bees up there. So we're starting to see these movements of these teams here really being fun to watch. Great job as Vienna Frappe there. Top 10 times at this moment.
Vienna Latte, Crush Pod 2 come on through with a 45.11, then followed by Z-Scott Alba, 45.44. Two Guys, Brisas in third for 45.52. Evo Meteors in fourth there, 46.20. Team WRFC in fifth with the 46.35. Greenwich Triton Ladies there in sixth place, 46.38. RWB SH in seventh, 46.39. 1 second split. Very tight racing from 5th through 7th between those three teams. Then it's going to be Adam Racing Team Electrons there with the 47, 31, and 8th. WTRL Drafting Dinos. I'm specifically looking for some animation logos and other things to throw up on stream because we need some dinosaurs. They're in 9th place, followed up by the Soxwatch Triceratops, who also could throw some dinosaurs into the mix. Thanks to in that 10th place there as well. And in the Viennas is what we were covering today. It looks like Kirchmer, we saw it coming and we figured they were going to hold on. Fearsome gave them a run for their money, though, and it was Kirchmer who were not actually the top-seeded team. So they were able to take that down today.
Yeah, we talked about how organized and professional the Kirchmer family is. There's Vienna Latte 1 getting it done. It was 9 seconds quicker than Fearsome with the second fastest time. You can see this is an entirely Platinum League here. So it'll take a bronze medal for Zed Sonar Quasar. 4th place going to the Amigas from Aeonian. 5th is the BRT Inferno Kittens. Thank you to them for letting us join in today, be embedded with the squad. Live by Cycling Gold in 6th. Angular Momentum for 7th. WTRL Drafting Dinos UK 1 and 8th. TFC Blackbirds 9th. And Hot Flush. That's your top 10 for Vienna.
I'm being told that we've got to fix. It is the RR Black Rhinos for the Mochas at 46.06. TBR Renegades, they bring it in at 46.49. In second place, Adam Racing Team Neon with a 46.49. They were almost so close. I love it when it comes within that 1 second. Only 0.4 of a second back there for third. The podium was so tight there for that second and third. RR Smash and Rhinos then 47.16 in fourth. One of our featured teams, the Evo Flux Jaffa. I saw Dylan in chat just a moment ago giving us a thanks. We appreciate Evo Flux Jaffa. Now, Jaffe. Is it Jaffe you said? Or Jaffa?
Jaffa.
Jaffa. All right. Jaffa.
Jaffa cakes.
The cakes. The sweet cakes. And it's going to be in 5th place. And it's going to be Valhalla Vandal in 6th place there, 48.03. Zisa Nebula in 7th or 49.03. It's going to be Ito Chua in 8th place there, 49.32. Peregrine Falcons. I was going to say the Pigeons because I've seen that pigeon win a lot of time before, but now it's actually the Falcons here coming out through for 9th. And WMZ 4 holding it down with R2D2 and C3PO in that 10th place. Next week is blank. There we go.
Race.
I reloaded it already once. Interesting, it didn't show up there. 2019 UCI World. What the heck?
Oh wow, God. That's going to be a brute.
This is my favorite, actually. I love this course. I absolutely
tough
love
for a
this
team
course.
time trial, though.
It is.
You thought today was a challenge.
Oh man, that's gonna be the day after the bone ride.
Oh boy.
Whew. Oh boy. Next Wednesday, if you didn't know and you're in Wisconsin, I probably shouldn't talk about it because it's like Fight Club, so I'm gonna shut up now. But
you already broke the rule.
I already broke the rule of Fight Club. 160-mile ride or something like that, Milwaukee to Madison. It's one of the epic rides. It gets talked about a little bit. I'm not sure who it was went and won the Tour de France or something after doing it, or there was something like, or maybe it was Olympic gold. I can't remember. There was like it's got some sort of legendary status around Tom Schuler and that whole old school American.
It was the triathlete gold medal winner Gwen Jorgensen from the Rio de Janeiro Olympics in 2016. She met her now husband, Pat Lemieux, on that ride.
Wow. So just to give you an idea, like you have no idea. I showed up to that ride for the first time, early on in my cycling career, and I had no idea who I was riding amongst. I'm with all these older guys, and they're all these
Tom's
older
friends.
guys, right?
Yes.
Like they're old dudes, and I'm like, okay.
You're like, that guy won U.S. Pro Road Championship in 1986.
But you don't know who they are
right.
because I was new to the whole world of cycling at that point. We make it to Madison, and when you get out to Madison, it's kind of chill on the way there, and I'm all like young buck, kind of taking pulls real hard, thinking I'm strong. We eat or whatever, and on the way back, I'm like, these guys, I couldn't believe the pace that we were holding on the way. They started getting their serious, tour riding fitness started coming out. And I was like,
the muscle
who
memory,
am I with
that.
here? Because they're dudes in their 50s and 60s demolishing me. I mean, they're literally just throwing the hammer down. I couldn't believe it. I was really, I mean, it's one of those rides though, that's for sure. But
When
anyways,
they were 25 years old, they were riding 25,000 miles a year, and they did
yeah,
that for 15 or 20 years of their life, and they will always have that kind of just like strength. It's
yeah,
impressive.
it is impressive.
Well, what a fun day.
Yeah,
Absolutely what
absolutely great.
WTRL is all about. Yeah.
Loved having in the features on there. Make sure to check your emails for next week's features. Make sure to send an email back if you do want to get into the features. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Obviously, next up when it comes to all things streaming and esports on the docket will be next week's Premier League as well as the ZRL week number 7. We're into TTT again, so make sure to check that out. Hit those follow buttons and all the good stuff. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, everybody, we're going to give you a big old ride on. We'll see you next week.